Phone is half of our life. These days, many teenagers live inside their phone. Their friendship, conflicts, and validations happen there. And honestly, that makes sense. Phones offer privacy, control, and a world that feels safer than the real yet messy one. But just because this behavior is understandable, it doesn't mean it's harmless, right? Greetings everyone, I'm Naura Aqilah from Universitas Brawijaya, Malang. Today we're going to talk about a relatable yet complex topics, teenagers, phone, and the world they are growing into. Ladies and gentlemen, the mental challenges we see today, like nomophobia and FOMO, cannot be explained by a single cause. These challenges shaped by a complex problem between technology, parenting, peer influence, and most likely a world that moves faster than emotional maturity can keep up with. Research by Common Sense Media shows that teenagers aged 13 to 18 spend over 7 hours a day on screen media outside of schoolwork. They crave independence and privacy. Their phones become a place where adults don't intrude, where identity can be explored freely. And in many ways, that's a normal developmental need. But when that digital world slowly replaces real social interactions, it's not same anymore. We start to see teenagers who are physically present but emotionally unavailable. Conversation just a formality, empathy becomes selective, politeness feels optional. Not because they don't care, but because their emotional energy is constantly pulled into an online world that never pauses, especially TikTok and Instagram, as teenagers' top platform which provide constant notifications. Then FOMO plays a big role here. Teenagers are afraid of missing relevance, missing validations, missing existence. Every notifications become a signal of worth. And when phones are taken away, the anxiety is getting real. And that phenomenon is nomophobia. I know it is concerning. But now let's talk about the parents. The role of parents in teenage development is no longer central in the same way as it was during childhood. Teenagers spend more emotional time with their peers. Their values, languages, and behavior are heavily shaped by online communities. So, no, parents cannot control everything. But research published in the Journal of Cognitive Education and Psychology showed that even though parents are no longer the central influence, parents still their reference point, their emotional safety nets. So, this is why framing this issue as screen addiction alone is too simple. The real issue is emotional regulation in a hyper-connected world. And this matters far beyond individual families. Indonesia often frames Indonesia Emas 2045 around demographic bonuses, innovations, and global competitiveness. However, the OECD and the World Economic Forum emphasize that national competitiveness is not only about technical skills, but by citizens who are emotionally resilient and socially competent. If today's teenagers grow up anxious, socially detached, and dependent on digital validation, then technological advancements alone will not secure a truly golden future. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the issue is not whether phones belong in teenagers' life, because they already do. The real question is whether we are preparing teenagers with identities strong enough to function beyond the screen. Because Indonesia's future will depend on how well these generations can connect offline with others, with responsibility, and with themselves. Thank you.